Meaner, leaner, stronger, time for the raw action, Agent Veera Vijay production video. Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin Reviews for yet another episode. Today's episode, we're gonna be mixing up the bag and really going back to the ground floor of the Bollywood. Actually, it's not Bollywood because there's so many languages in this kind of set of genre of film industry. You've got the Tamil movies, Telugu movies, Hindi movies. You've got all kinds of movies. But let's not beat around the bush here, because tonight's review is on Beast 2022, where we have another Vijay production. So if you don't know the lore and you don't know the history and the backstory of what I'm talking about, I have actually been going down this rabbit hole on Netflix recently, where I've been finding some absolute top class, top of the shelf, awesome Indian movies with this actor called Thalapathy Vijay. That's his star name. And he did The Greatest of All Time, and also we just did the review of Leo, I believe, like 3 or 4 days ago as well, 4 or 5 days ago as this is going out, so I'll link all of that down below. So that's my context, is that I have really dabbled into that and really have enjoyed this kind of different side to cinema, where it's kind of different to your regular American way of thinking, and it's completely different. So there is that. So what is Beast actually about? So I feel like that this kind of video, it kind of does require discussing spoilers so that you can understand the plot of this movie, because pretty much what you have here is Thalapathy Vijay playing this character called Veera as part of this kind of like agency of spies called RAW. So that's R-A-W, obviously, in capital letters. And so you have that. But then he realises that a terrorist group is coming after him. And there's this whole chaotic thing where they trap these people in a mall. And this mall, right, has no internet. And literally, the place is running wild, right? And it's meant to be a 2-hour and 35-minute film. And so that is pretty much what this movie is about. So how do I feel about this film? So I'm going to be honest right now in saying that this is some of the most fun bad, so bad that it is good, from Vijay. And so I know I had those expectations where I was like, you know what, Vijay is the king of Indian cinema. Vijay can cook non-stop, right? But what really elevates this movie is how I actually had beer watching this film on a Friday night. And when you have beer with you, right, and you watch this kinda over-the-top, spectacle-driven, entertainment-driven film, you absolutely think that this is actually awesome, and it is a lot more fun. Because see, when I watch the Indian movies regularly, right, I'm having fun, sure, and then I'm paying attention to the storyline, but when I am drunk, like, I'm absolutely in the zone, and I'm like, my mind is going at 100 miles an hour, and the pacing makes it so much better. I already know about how Vijay's other movies go in like that, go in like a Flash, like Flash from DC type shit, you know what I mean, bro? Like, they go in really fast, but because you have action in this movie, and then you have very, very fun moments, it does elevate that experience. However, I did say this is kind of a so bad that it is good, because it's not the worst movie ever made, but the plot, unlike other Vijay movies I have watched, definitely isn't as impactful. It doesn't have much high stakes, as much tension as what you would normally think, especially coming off of Leo, where it was that crazy drama thriller kind of thing where they were figuring out what the heck is going on here. We need to figure out if this guy actually thinks who he is and he's thinking about his life and what's on the line here. Well, yeah, there is that whole thing in the plot about the mall and the terrorist, and how they try to play it safe and silly about how there's stuff going on in this mall, but then it actually also turns out that our main character Veera has a girlfriend, right? And then this girlfriend just so happens to be related to this other guy in this movie, and it becomes an entire gimmick as well. And I will be honest that not every single moment of the film is funny, but there is a lot of fun to be had here, especially when you have a lot of action in the beginning of the film, like I said, right? I think I said that, I can't remember. So there's all of that, to say the least. But what I haven't talked about here is how you have some kind of mediocre type of music in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like Leo, whoa, whoa, he's a freaking badass boy, whatever I said in the last video, right? About the Indian movies, right? Like, absolute fun, absolute amazing, absolutely memorable, absolutely re-listenable. But the thing about this song, where it's just like, he's meaner, he's leaner, he's stronger, do-do-do-do, like, it doesn't come off as interesting. It just comes off a little bit kind of generic and kind of obvious that, yeah, we kind of know he's an action star at this point. We kind of know that he's the man that does it all. We kind of know he's this. We kind of know he's that. And yeah, there's times where Vijay does have a lot of fun when he dances in these films. But to be honest with you, if you look at how he dances with the ladies in this movie, and especially when you get later on in the film where there's that whole beach scene and they're singing this song, it's just kind of weird and random, and a lot of the dancing doesn't really make much sense. Like, it's there and you're having fun, okay, but it's not like, yeah, it's not as great as work here. And so even with all of like the ways in which we never actually glazed this movie and called it a masterpiece, or we called it a masterpiece ironically, I still actually thought this movie was better than My Hero Academia You're Next, and even that's not saying a lot. But yeah, I would absolutely, if you on a scale of 1 to 10, right, where you have the beer involved, this movie is actually a 9 out of 10, because it actually feels so entertaining. I'm so up for the ride. It's so insane. The dopamine's hitting my brain where I'm like, oh my god, it's freaking crazy Bollywood movie type of thing, right? But when you cut out the beer, this movie is like a solid 6. A solid 6, actually, not even a 6 out of 10. Screw that. This movie is above average, and at the time I was watching the film, I was like, this movie, it's got all these flaws, it's got all of this, it's got all of that. But more time that it sits with me, yeah, above average, because at least Vijay tries in this movie, and he tries to have some fun here. It's not like he's phoning it in. You can tell that he's still having fun. So yeah, this is quite a deep dive, quite a waffling type of review, but you're here watching the James Rambling reviews, right? Rambling. It's clearly obvious that sometimes you just have to let me cook and let me yap on a bit about what bro is on about, kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, I need to explain myself here. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review, and make sure you become leaner, meaner, stronger, Veera, yeah. But yeah, that's it. If you want me to do any more Indian cinematic reviews where I kind of just go away from the Vijay Productions side of things and try a different kind of actor, I absolutely recommend in the comments, because this genre is so interesting and I cannot wait to see what more this genre has more to cook with this genre, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it. Bye. Bye, Bollywood, Tegaloo, Tamil, whatever, bye.